Hey there, everybody. Welcome into another Poorly Played Poker episode. I'm your boy Choppodong here in Casa del Chapo, and I have a hand where we quadded threes on the turn. And I want to ask you a question. Did we play it right? Did we play it wrong? Would you have played it differently? So let's go ahead and let's talk about it. Let's jump in. I'm going to throw the hand history right up here for us to talk about, and we are going to walk through this baby with our thoughts because, again, I don't know if my thoughts were right, and I don't know how your thoughts would be different. So let's take a shot at it and let's talk about it. We are the hero, and we're up against a solid, more aggressive player, and this is the type of player that probably is three betting more than pocket queens, ace king, stuff like that. This guy can probably do it on a little wider range. He probably takes shots at weaknesses based on what we've seen. We haven't seen him show down any cards yet, but he's just not a recreational fishy type of player. He's probably pretty solid. So that said, when we look at this hand history and we open limp pocket threes, and I know open limping is just not something we're supposed to be doing, but for a different thought for a different day, I'm all right with it with certain hands because, to be quite honest with you, people will make horrible, horrible, horrible mistakes when you have a nutted hand, and you'll cooler the crap out of them for much, much bigger pots than if you had open raised pocket threes for balance. That doesn't matter down here at the 1-2 stakes and the low live limit stakes. Um, from under the gun, when we limp, we pick up a caller, fine. The hijack, our friend, raises to 12. Pretty standard, normal size. We call, and the other player folds. So we're heads up, we're out of position. We're in a $25 flop, and we flop the 3 of diamonds. So we flop our set, 6 of diamonds, 6 of spades. We've got a diamond draw out there. We've got lots of overpairs out there. If we want to look at what his range would be, he's got aces, he's got kings, he's got jacks, tens, he's got all the overpairs in his range. He's got a lot of missed Broadway cards as well. Maybe some flush draws. Probably not 6-7 or 6-8 or a hand like that, but maybe it is possible. Maybe even 4-5 for the open-ended draw. Now, you can argue we can lead out, but in this position, I generally like to check to the raiser and look to check raise my big hands. I could represent a flush draw here myself, and he would probably still call a street with pocket eights, pocket tens, things like that. As played, it goes check, check. When he checks back that flop, I'm thinking, well, we're now discounting a lot of those overpairs. He would have protected his hand with pocket sevens, pocket eights, pocket nines for fear of a jack or a queen or something falling. He would have probably even taken a swing with some showdown value, ace king, ace queen, things like that. He might just be on pure junk as a pre-flop raise. So when he checks it back, we're discounting the strength of his range a good bit. On a $25 turn, we quad up with the 3 of spades. And now, now how are we going to get anything out of this guy? Because we can't play too terribly aggressively into his weaker range. So we lob out the little $5 trick chip. Here, see what you do with this. I wanted to see if he would call. I wanted to see if he would raise. I wanted to see if he would fold. I wanted to see what he would do. And to my surprise, he raised. He raised to 20. And I thought, oh, maybe some overpairs are in there. Maybe he checked back pocket kings. Maybe he just read an article about protecting his check back range. Maybe he thinks ace king of diamonds, that would have surely bet the flop. Maybe not. Maybe he thinks 9-10 of diamonds has some sort of, bluff ability on a semi-bluff. I don't know. But I thought that if I call this raise and then check that river to him, and it's any kind of a scary river, he's just going to check it back. My best chance is probably to get some money again now. And I know bet 3-bet looks ridiculously strong, but I raised to 60 bucks thinking that his overpairs will call that. I was specifically targeting those overpairs. I felt like if I get lucky, he'll spaz over the top. I have no idea. But if he calls and he does have something like pocket tens, maybe I can get a crying call out of something on the river and get a little. The only way to get a ton of money out of this pot is to go ahead and start building it now, take our chances. A lot of people I've talked to have said that they would rather see us check that river and bluff. So again, in the comments down below, I want you to tell me how you would have played this turn. Would you have bet 3-bet? Would you have bet called and check raised the river? Would you have led the river again? What would you have done? Because this is how we get better with my poor play when we dive in and talk about it. We can do that in our Discord. We can do that at Choppodong1 out on Twitter. We can do that anywhere we want, but the comments here would obviously be preferred. So while you're down there giving me that like and that subscribe and turning those notification bells on, let's really hook your boy up with a comment, because let's get this thing off the ground. Let's get this poorly played poker concept off the ground, and let's make everybody better around us by watching me foolishly fall on sword after sword after sword playing poor poker.